I hope all of you had a great Merry Christmas, and yes, I did go see Nosferatu again before seeing a brand new movie, so that's just how my life works. I want to see that movie so bad again, but hey, here we are, just a day late. A Complete Unknown stars Timothée Chalamet and is about in 1961, unknown 19-year-old Bob Dylan arrives in New York City with his guitar. From director James Mangold, the man that brought you Ford vs. Ferrari, Logan, and Walk the Line, we are talking the brand new movie A Complete Unknown. So the reason why I bring up Walk the Line in his filmography is because Walk the Line is like the top of the mountain or the best bio music movie that I've ever seen. There's a lot of good ones, a lot of bad ones, but whenever I think about a really good one, Walk the Line always comes to mind. So when I heard James Mangold was doing a Bob Dylan movie, I was all in for that because I love a lot of his movies. I mean, the ones I listed are just like some of my favorites. You got 3:10 to Yuma, the newest Indiana Jones, but James Mangold's a great director, and with Timothée Chalamet, just being the star that he is as Bob Dylan, you could just tell before going in this movie, this is going to be one of those Oscar favorites, and after watching it today, this is going to be an Oscar favorite. So let's start off with the positives, and that is Timothée Chalamet as Bob Dylan. Listen, say what you want about him. He might be in a lot of movies, but he is a damn good actor. He does an amazing job. He will be nominated for Best Actor. I mean, I haven't seen all the competitions, so right now he might be the front runner because of just like how famous he is and how just he incorporated he is into the entertainment industry that honestly the Oscars would be just willing to give it to Timothée Chalamet because how much people love him. But again, he does a great job as Bob Dylan. I'm not the biggest Bob Dylan fan. I've seen a ton of interviews about him because my dad's a huge fan of just rock music and just music in general that like I've seen enough of Bob Dylan interview. Seeing Timothée as him, he really does dive into this role. I think everyone in this movie does a very good job. You got Elle Fanning, Edward Norton, freaking Boyd Holbrook, sorry if I said his name wrong, who plays Johnny Cash in this movie. He's in it very little in this movie. He is so good. He is so good in this movie. I loved his very small performance in this movie. But this movie also delivers a time period in the early 60s because this movie is actually not a complete bio movie about Bob Dylan. This movie is actually about a 4-year time span where Bob Dylan was doing folk music and basically he turned his guitar into an electric guitar and made it into rock music. And it's about the change of entertainment industry that Bob Dylan did, what he did for music and folk music in New York in 1960s, for then him to change it into rock. I found that really interesting and very different for a bio movie. But we'll get more into my negatives in a second about that. But morely about this movie, the production, the costuming, the music, the sound design, all of it is very well done. James Mangold knows how to do small moments, but be huge moments. What I mean by that is it's such a small moment in the movie, but it's such an important, loud moment that it needs to be told in this specific story. I think James Mangold is just right in his ballpark. Again, I did not like Indiana Jones, so I feel like him going back to such a smaller story was perfect for him, and I hope he gets some consideration for awards. I don't know how it is because it's very competitive this year, but James Mangold is still one of the best directors working today. Now, when it gets more of my negatives, when I go back to this bio movie, it's only like a 4-year time span, and I found it to be cool and different. It's not like him starting off as a kid, basically, and completely doing the exactly, like, he comes from nothing, he becomes famous, drugs, whatever. We've seen this happen before, and all I can say is, I like that they did something different, but I walk away from the movie feeling like, what was the importance of the movie besides Bob Dylan's importance of the music industry? Because I feel like more of his entire music industry and his life can be told. I mean, he's still alive to today. So like, I feel like so much of like how you could look into music now and how much it's changed when rock is becoming like heavy metal in the 70s and the 80s, that I feel like Bob Dylan, what he did is such an important part that this movie only kind of like tugs at the top of the mountain for this movie, because there's so much more to it that I feel like this movie is not doing enough. It feels like a paragraph that you read on a Wikipedia page, but you didn't get all the details. That's what this movie should have been. The details, the more of it. And I feel like it just kind of scratched the surface of it. And honestly, I kind of left the feeling like, what was the whole point besides a really good performance and just, Bob Dylan giving him his due, giving him his movie that we all wanted to see, or at least the fans do. So again, that was probably like my major issue. And this really is an issue toward the movie, but I will say this. If Timothée Chalamet goes on to win Best Actor, I find that just really hard to believe, because I still see Timothée Chalamet in this role. He does a good job, don't get me wrong. But when I see the Elvis movie, I didn't see Austin Butler. I saw Elvis, and he didn't win the Oscar. So if this wins it, I don't know. It just doesn't feel right to me. But again, that's not really an issue towards the movie. That's just something I want to say. Either way, it's a good movie. It's really well made. It's really well acted. It's got a good story enough to be good in its own docu episode. But really, I feel like this movie kind of just scratched the surface, because there's so much more that I feel like it could have told for a Bob Dylan movie. But then again, you get your generic bio movie. So you honestly don't win in this situation. Anyway, it was a good movie. I'm going to give A Complete Unknown a B. And with all that said, this is my last movie review of the year, and I know there is at least 4 movies I could name right now that I could do reviews for before the end of the year. But guess what? I don't want to, okay? I'm sorry, I'm missing a few reviews, but hey, I'm really enjoying the holiday season. I just got a brand new laptop. I'm still kind of working it out, so I hope you guys had a great Christmas. Give me 2 or 3 days, and then we'll have, the best and the worst list. And don't forget, I will do the horror list. And if you guys always enjoyed your holiday season, come back very soon for those list videos. I'll see you guys real soon. Bye, everybody.